Admiral John Carter stood at the wide window of his office on Luna Base, looking out at the blue sphere of Earth. His gray eyes narrowed as he read the message again on his tablet. This was not what he had expected when he woke up this morning. "A summons from the Galactic Council," he said to the empty room. "After 50 years of barely talking to us." The door slid open, and his aide, Lieutenant Steve Rogers, stepped in. "Sir, President Winters is on the secure line. She says it's urgent." Carter nodded and moved to his desk. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the stern face of Earth's President Catherine Winters. "Admiral, you've read the transmission." "Yes, Madam President. The Council wants us to attend an emergency session." They didn't share many details. President Winters frowned. "This is the first time they've invited us since we joined the galactic community. I don't trust their timing." "Neither do I," Carter agreed. "Our new deep space fleet just came online last month. The Valerians have been watching our shipyards closely." "Which is why you're going to represent our military interests," the President said. "I'm also sending Lisa Reeves from the Diplomatic Corps and Dr. Alan Freeman from the Science Division." Carter knew both by reputation. Reeves was sharp, with 10 years of experience dealing with alien cultures. Freeman was one of Earth's brightest minds in xenotechnology. "When do we leave?" he asked. "The UES Intrepid is being prepared as we speak. You depart in 6 hours." The President's expression hardened. "Listen carefully, John. Your orders are to observe and report. Make no promises, sign nothing, commit to nothing without direct approval from me or the Security Council." "Understood, Madam President." 4 hours later, Admiral Carter waited in the Luna Base docking bay as a shuttle arrived. A tall woman with short blonde hair stepped out first, followed by a thin man with glasses and a distracted look. "Admiral Carter," the woman said, extending her hand. "Lisa Reeves, Earth Diplomatic Corps." "Dr. Alan Freeman," the man said, adjusting his glasses. "Honor to meet you, Admiral." Carter nodded. "Welcome to Luna Base. The Intrepid is ready for departure. Let's get you both briefed on the way." The UES Intrepid was Earth's newest diplomatic vessel. Fast, well-shielded, but lightly armed to appear non-threatening. As they walked through its sleek corridors, Carter explained what little they knew. "The Council session is being held at Centaurus Prime. That's a 2-day journey with our current FTL drives. The message mentioned matters of grave concern regarding human expansion, which could mean anything." In the ship's conference room, Dr. Freeman pulled up a holographic map of known space. "Human territory is here," he said, highlighting 17 star systems in blue. "Tiny compared to the Valerian Confederation or the Qualathi Empire, but we've grown faster than any other species in Council history." Lisa Reeves nodded. "That's what worries them. We went from 1 system to 17 in 50 years. We've signed defense pacts with the Tellurians and the Proxima Collective. Some Council members see us as destabilizing." "They should look in a mirror," Carter said. "The Valerians absorbed 3 civilizations in the past century alone." As the Intrepid broke orbit, Captain Nancy Hill's voice came over the comm. "Course set for Centaurus Prime. FTL drives engaging in 3 minutes." Carter watched Earth shrink on the view screen. "What do you think they want from us? Really?" Reeves' expression was grim. "Nothing good, Admiral. The last 3 species called to emergency sessions were either sanctioned or restricted to their home systems afterward." Freeman looked up from his datapad. "I've been studying the Council's history. They've never lost a vote against a newcomer species." The stars outside began to streak as the Intrepid jumped to faster than light speed. Admiral Carter felt a chill that had nothing to do with the ship's temperature. "Well," he said quietly, "there's a first time for everything." The UES Intrepid dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a gentle shudder. Through the main viewport, Centaurus Prime came into view, a massive space station that looked like a silver flower with dozens of petals spread wide. Each petal housed a different alien embassy. Lisa Reeves stood next to Admiral Carter on the bridge. "The Council Dome is in the center," she said. "That's where all 300 species meet." Dr. Freeman whistled softly. 300 civilizations, and most of them have been spacefaring longer than humans have had agriculture. A voice crackled over the comm system. "Earth vessel Intrepid, this is Centaurus Control. Proceed to docking Bay 47. Your delegation is expected at the Council Dome in 2 hours. Do not deviate from your assigned path." Captain Hill raised an eyebrow at the cold tone but replied professionally. "Understood, Centaurus Control. Proceeding to docking Bay 47. As the Intrepid glided toward its assigned dock, Admiral Carter noticed at least a dozen warships parked around the station. Most bore the spiral emblem of the Valerian Confederation. "That's more military presence than usual for a council meeting," he said quietly. Lisa nodded. "They're sending a message before we even arrive." 2 hours later, the human delegation walked through the vast corridors of Centaurus Prime. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved around them. Some had too many limbs, others floated rather than walked, and a few were encased in environmental suits that hid their true forms. Many turned to stare at the humans as they passed. "They're looking at us like we're dangerous animals," Freeman whispered. "Maybe we are, to them," Carter replied. A tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms approached them. "Earth delegation, I am Kel, your assigned guide. The council is assembling. Follow me." The council dome was even more impressive inside. A vast chamber stretched before them, with rising rings of seats holding hundreds of alien representatives. The ceiling was a perfect recreation of the galaxy, stars twinkling against the black void. Kel led them to seats in the furthest corner of the chamber. "Observer status only," he explained. "You may not speak unless directly addressed by a council elder." Admiral Carter frowned. "That doesn't sound like the full membership Earth was promised when we joined." "Rules change," Kel said flatly, then left them. Lisa leaned close to Carter and Freeman. "Notice how we're seated. The powerful species are in the center rings. We're in the back with the newer members." Dr. Freeman was studying his datapad. "I've accessed the public meeting agenda. We're listed under security concerns, last item of the day." A chime rang through the chamber, and the noise of hundreds of alien voices died down. From the center of the floor, a platform rose. Standing on it was a tall, elegant being with pale skin that seemed to glow from within. 4 slender arms were folded across its chest, and its large eyes swept the chamber. "High Chancellor Zex Terra of the Valerian Confederation," Lisa whispered, "the most powerful figure in council politics." The High Chancellor spoke, its voice translated by the tiny devices in the humans' ears. "This emergency session of the Galactic Council is now in session. We face a matter of grave concern to all peaceful civilizations." Carter noticed several smaller alien species looking their way, not with hostility, but with something else: curiosity, maybe even sympathy. "Humanity," the High Chancellor continued, "in just 50 years since joining our galactic community, has engaged in actions that threaten the balance of power and peace we have maintained for millennia." A murmur ran through the chamber. Some delegates nodded in agreement. Others seemed uncomfortable. "The human delegation will bear witness as we present evidence of their destabilizing influence and vote on appropriate measures to contain this threat." Lisa's face grew pale. "They're not here to talk with us," she whispered. "This is a trial." Admiral Carter straightened in his seat. "And they've already decided we're guilty." In the center ring, a small reptilian alien caught Carter's eye and made a subtle gesture with its clawed hand. Dr. Freeman recognized the species. "That's Ambassador Krill of the Tellurians," he said. "One of the races we helped free from Valerian control last year." "At least we have some friends here," Carter said. "We're going to need them." High Chancellor Zex Terra moved to the center of the chamber, his 4 arms spread wide. The holographic display above him flickered to life, showing a map of human-controlled space. "In just 50 Earth years," he said, "humans have expanded from 1 star system to 17. This rate of growth has not been seen since the early days of the Qualathi Empire, 10,000 years ago. The map zoomed in to show Earth's colonies. Red dots appeared on each one. Each of these marks indicates a military installation. Sex Terra continued. Notice the pattern. Every human colony, even those claimed to be purely scientific or agricultural, contains significant defensive capabilities. Admiral Carter leaned toward Lisa. Of course they do. We learned that lesson after the Proxima Colony massacre. Lisa nodded but put a finger to her lips. They were being watched. The Chancellor waved one long-fingered hand, and the display changed to show footage of massive ships under construction in Earth's orbital shipyards. These vessels, he said, his voice growing harder, have been classified by our experts as planet killers. Dr. Freeman sat up straight. That's not right, he whispered urgently. Those are the Newton-class terraforming ships. Yes, they're heavily armed, but they're designed to redirect asteroids and protect colony sites. The Chancellor continued. Humanity has also formed military alliances with the Tellurians, the Proxima Collective, and 4 other minor species. They are creating a power block outside Council control. A large insectoid alien rose from one of the middle rings. High Chancellor, if I may speak. The Council recognizes Ambassador Click-Chick of the Proxima Collective, Zex Terra said, his tone cooling. My species sought alliance with humans after the Valerian-backed raiders destroyed 3 of our colony worlds, the insectoid said, mandibles clicking. The Council did nothing to help us. Humans provided ships and soldiers within days of our request. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Carter noticed several smaller species nodding in agreement. The human concept of defensive pacts is merely their term for military expansion. Sex Terra replied smoothly. We have evidence. The display changed again, showing what appeared to be plans for weapon systems far beyond what Earth had actually developed. Dr. Freeman quickly typed on his data pad, then showed it to Carter and Lisa. His message read, "These are fakes. We don't have this technology." A tall, gray-skinned alien with a wide head rose next. The Medusan Assembly has observed human cultural transmissions. Their entertainment is filled with conquest narratives. Their most popular stories involve defeating superior enemies through deception and hidden strength. Lisa frowned. They're using our movies as evidence. Carter's face darkened. No, they're using everything they can to paint us as a threat. The debate continued for nearly an hour. Several smaller species spoke in humanity's defense, but the 3 major powers, Valerians, Qualathi, and Medusans, dominated the discussion. Finally, Zex Terra called for a vote. The Council will now decide on issuing a final warning to humanity. Lisa leaned close to Carter. A final warning is one step before military action. The voting took only minutes. The results appeared on the main display. 188 in favor, 123 against. The motion carries, Zex Terra announced. Earth will be issued a final warning with the following terms. The 3 demands appeared on screens throughout the chamber. First, humanity must disarm all major weapons platforms in their territory within 60 days. Second, Council inspectors must be granted full access to all human military installations. Third, human expansion beyond current borders must cease immediately and permanently. Failure to comply, Zex Terra concluded, will result in sanctions and potential military intervention. He turned to face the human delegation directly for the first time. You have 48 hours to transmit these terms to your government and return with a preliminary response. The chamber fell silent as all eyes turned to the 3 humans. Admiral Carter stood slowly, his face carefully blank. The delegation acknowledges receipt of the Council's message. We will convey it to Earth immediately. As they left the chamber, Lisa whispered, "What do we do now?" Carter's voice was low and firm. "We tell Earth exactly what happened here. This wasn't a diplomatic meeting. It was an ambush." Dr. Freeman nodded. "And we need to figure out why they're really doing this. Those weren't our ships they showed. Someone is feeding them false information. Or, Carter said grimly, someone is deliberately manipulating both sides. Back aboard the Intrepid, the three humans gathered in the secure conference room. The ship's clock showed midnight, Earth Standard Time, but none of them felt like sleeping. "We need to send a full report to Earth now," Admiral Carter said. "Captain Hill, ensure our transmission is encrypted with the Omega Protocol." Captain Nancy Hill nodded and left the room. The Admiral turned to Lisa and Dr. Freeman. "Before we contact Earth, I want your honest assessments." Lisa paced the room, her diplomatic training at war with her anger. "They planned this from the start. The Valerians never intended to hear our side. They're afraid of us. The question is why," Dr. Freeman said, adjusting his glasses. "We're still tiny compared to the major powers. The Valerians control over 100 systems. The Quilathi twice that many." Carter leaned forward. "What about the evidence they presented?" "Those weren't our ships." Dr. Freeman tapped on his datapad. "I've been thinking about that. The designs they showed look like our terraforming ships, but with weapons systems we don't have. Someone altered the plans." "Can you prove it?" Lisa asked. "Not with what I have here. But there's something else." Freeman's eyes lit up. "While they were talking, I accessed some of the Council's public archives through their network. Their security is outdated by our standards." Carter raised an eyebrow. "What did you find?" "Records of internal discussions dating back 20 years. The major powers have been watching us closely since we achieved faster-than-light travel. They're particularly concerned about our rate of adaptation." Freeman pulled up a translated document on the main screen. "This is from a Valerian security assessment. Humans display a troubling ability to observe technology and improve upon it rapidly. Their unpredictability makes them dangerous." Lisa read another passage aloud. "Human innovation in FTL technology may soon render current defense grids obsolete. If they share this knowledge with minor species, the power balance will shift dramatically." "So that's it," Carter said quietly. "We're not just expanding too quickly. We're innovating too quickly." Lisa stopped pacing. "The Valerians and others have controlled space travel for thousands of years. They restrict certain technologies to maintain their power. We're disrupting that system. By helping smaller species like the Tellurians," Freeman added. "We have two choices," Lisa said. "We can back down, play by their rules, and hope they leave us alone. Or we can refuse their demands and risk conflict." Admiral Carter shook his head. "There's always a third option. We just haven't found it yet." Captain Hill returned. "The secure channel to Earth is ready, Admiral." For the next hour, they transmitted everything. The Council's accusations, the vote, the demands, and their own observations. They included Dr. Freeman's discoveries from the archives. When they finished, Lisa collapsed into a chair. "Now we wait. I suggest we all try to get some sleep," Carter said. "Tomorrow will be challenging." But sleep didn't come easily to any of them. Admiral Carter lay on his bunk, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Earth's colonies and the people who lived on them. 17 worlds, millions of human lives, all now under threat. Dr. Freeman stayed up, reviewing more documents he had downloaded from the Council archives. The more he read, the more worried he became. Lisa tried to sleep but kept hearing Zextera's voice. "Failure to comply will result in sanctions and potential military intervention." In diplomatic language, that meant blockades at best, war at worst. At 400 hours, just as Carter finally drifted off to sleep, the ship's alarm sounded. All three humans rushed to the bridge. "Urgent encrypted transmission from Earth, Admiral," Captain Hill reported. "Security Council Priority 1. The main screen lit up with the face of Defense Secretary Jack Morris. His expression was grim but determined. "We received your report," he said without preamble. "The President and Security Council have made their decision. It's not what the Galactic Council will expect." Carter felt a chill run down his spine. "What are our orders, sir?" "President Winters will address the Galactic Council herself," Morris replied. You are to request a full assembly and prepare their communication systems. She will speak to them directly. Lisa stepped forward. Sir, what is Earth's response to their demands? Morris smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Let's just say we're sending more than words. Admiral Carter, Lisa, and Dr. Freeman stood outside the entrance to the Council Dome. They had returned to Centaurus Prime just 6 hours after receiving Earth's instructions. Guards from the Medusan Assembly watched them closely, their multiple eyes blinking in sequence. They didn't expect us back so soon, Carter said quietly. Lisa nodded. Good, keep them off balance. A small alien with green skin approached them. The council is not in session today. Return tomorrow. This can't wait, Carter said firmly. We have a direct message from Earth's president. Council protocols require that such messages be delivered to a full assembly. The alien's skin changed to a pale yellow. That is unusual. So is issuing a final warning to a species without proper discussion. Lisa added, we insist on following protocol. The alien made a series of clicking sounds, then said, wait here. It hurried away through a side door. They're going to make us wait, Dr. Freeman predicted. It's a power play. He was right. For 2 hours, they stood in the entrance hall. Other aliens passed by, some staring, others pretending not to notice them. Finally, the green alien returned. The High Chancellor has called an emergency session. You may enter. Inside the Council Dome, the atmosphere was tense. Many seats remained empty. Clearly, not all representatives had been able to arrive on such short notice. The 3 major powers, however, were fully present. High Chancellor Zex Terra looked down at them from the central platform. Earth delegation, you requested this session. We expected you to take the full 48 hours to consider our terms. Earth's response could not wait. Admiral Carter replied. President Winters wishes to address the council directly. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Zex Terra's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of surprise. Lisa had told them. Your communication systems are not compatible with ours, the Chancellor said. Dr. Freeman stepped forward. I brought the necessary equipment. He held up a small black device. With your permission, I'll connect this to your central display system. After some debate, Freeman was allowed to approach the main controls. Under the watchful eyes of council technicians, he attached his device. The transmission is queued and ready, he told Carter. The Admiral nodded. High Chancellor, the President of United Earth is prepared to speak. Zex Terra made a gesture of reluctant permission. We will hear your leader, though this is highly irregular. As Freeman activated the device, Lisa noticed more council guards entering the chamber. Near the docking bays, visible through the large windows, several Valerian warships were moving into position. They're surrounding the station, she whispered to Carter. He nodded slightly. They fear whatever we're about to say. The huge holographic display in the center of the dome flickered, then stabilized. President Catherine Winters appeared, her image towering over the assembly. She stood in Earth's presidential office, the flags of Earth's nations behind her. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and strong. I am Catherine Winters, President of United Earth. I thank you for hearing me directly. Zex Terra interrupted. Madam President, we have issued our terms to your delegation. We await your answer. Winters smiled, but her eyes remained cold. I understand you've given my people an ultimatum. Disarm our defenses. Allow your inspectors into our bases. End our expansion. She paused, looking around the chamber as if making eye contact with each representative. Before I respond, let me ask you this. Would any of your civilizations accept such terms? Would the Valerians? The Quillethi? The Medusans? No one answered. The silence stretched uncomfortably. I thought not. Winters continued. Humanity came to the stars in peace, but not in weakness. We have studied history, both yours and ours, and we have prepared accordingly. She nodded to someone off-screen. Let me show you something. A holographic display split into multiple views. Each showed different locations throughout human space. Carter heard gasps from the council members as they recognized what they were seeing. "What is this?" demanded Zexterra. Admiral Carter stepped forward. "That, High Chancellor, is Earth's response to your final warning." On the screens, massive defense platforms emerged from hiding places in gas giants and asteroid belts. Ships larger than any Earth had officially acknowledged decloaked near strategic points. Planetary shield generators activated across human colonies. "We call it Operation Frostbite," Lisa said quietly to the stunned aliens nearest her. "A cold response for a cold universe." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Aliens shouted, clicked, and flashed colors in their various languages. Some rose from their seats, while others huddled together in urgent discussion. High Chancellor Zexterra raised all four arms, calling for order. "Silence," he commanded. "This display is clearly a deception. Earth cannot possess such technology." President Winter's hologram smiled. "You've underestimated us, Chancellor. A common mistake when dealing with humans." She gestured, and the images changed to show close-ups of the defense platforms. Their designs were unlike anything seen in human space before. "These are not weapons of aggression," Winters explained. "They are shields, not swords. Every colony, every outpost, every human settlement is now protected by defenses we've kept hidden until today." Dr. Freeman whispered to Admiral Carter, "Those of the Mark VII platforms. I didn't know they were already operational." On the screens, more images appeared. Massive ships emerging from cloud cover on gas giants, stealth fields dropping around orbital stations, and ground-based weapons rising from underground bunkers. "For 50 years, Winters continued, we've been building, preparing, and watching. We hope to never need these measures. Your final warning has forced our hand." A Quilathi representative stood. "This is an act of war. You threaten the Council with these weapons." "No," Winters replied calmly. "This is an act of self-preservation. If we wanted war, Chancellor Zexterra would not be standing right now." A hush fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. "What do you mean?" Zexterra demanded. Winters nodded to someone off-screen again. A new image appeared. A detailed map of Centaurus Prime Station, with several small objects highlighted in red. 5 minutes before this transmission began, stealth drones from Earth entered this station. She said, "They could have carried weapons. Instead, they carry only this message. We see you. We've always seen you." The chamber erupted again. Guards rushed to search for the drones. Council members shouted for protection. "These drones are harmless," Admiral Carter announced, his voice cutting through the noise. "They will self-destruct without damage once this meeting ends. They prove only one point: your security cannot stop us." Lisa stepped forward. "For decades, you've seen humans as primitive newcomers. Yet we put a drone in this supposedly secure chamber without detection. What does that tell you about your assessment of our capabilities?" President Winters continued, "The Council's final warning demanded we disarm. Instead, we reveal our true strength. You demanded inspectors in our military bases. We show you we can enter your facilities at will. You ordered us to halt expansion. We demonstrate we don't need new territory to grow stronger." The hologram changed to show Winters alone again, her expression serious but not threatening. "Now let me be clear about what we want," she said. "Not conquest, not domination. We want what we've always wanted: peaceful coexistence as equals." Dr. Freeman whispered to Carter, "Here comes the real message." Winters spoke again. "The Galactic Council has existed for thousands of years. In that time, how many smaller species have you truly helped? How many have you allowed to grow and prosper as equals?" She paused, letting the question hang in the air. "Earth rejects your final warning. We will not disarm. We will not submit to inspections. And we will continue to grow and explore as we see fit." High Chancellor Zexterra's skin paled. Then you choose war with the Council. No, Winters replied firmly. We choose to offer you something different. A new relationship, a better council. One where power is shared, not hoarded. The image expanded to show a table behind Winters. Seated there were representatives from a dozen alien species, including Tellurians, members of the Proxima Collective, and others from smaller council worlds. Meet the founding members of the Galactic Cooperative, Winters said. We've been building more than weapons, Chancellor. We've been building alliances with those you've kept powerless for centuries. From the back of the council chamber, several representatives of smaller species rose to their feet. One by one, they moved to stand with the human delegation. The choice is yours, High Chancellor, Winters said. Peaceful change, or a new balance of power you cannot control. High Chancellor Xterra stared at the human delegation in shocked silence. Around the chamber, council members whispered to each other. Some looked afraid. Others seemed angry. A few appeared secretly pleased. This is rebellion, Xterra finally said, his voice low but carrying through the chamber. You seek to destroy the council that has kept peace for thousands of years. President Winters shook her head. Not destroy, Chancellor. Reform. The council was meant to represent all spacefaring species. Instead, it has become a tool for the powerful to control the weak. She waved her hand, and new images appeared on the screen. They showed classified Valerian documents, Qualathi military orders, and Medusan trade agreements. We know the Valerian Confederation has been planning to restrict human growth since we helped the Tellurians regain their independence, Winters said. We know the Qualathi Empire has raised taxes on smaller species while lowering them for their allies. We know the Medusan Assembly has been blocking new technology from reaching developing worlds. Dr. Freeman glanced at Admiral Carter. She's revealing everything we've gathered, he whispered. Carter nodded. Removing their secrecy removes their power. The images kept changing, showing more and more evidence of the major powers' manipulation of smaller species. How did you obtain these documents? Demanded a Qualathi representative, rising from her seat. Lisa stepped forward. Your security systems are outdated by human standards. What you call unbreakable encryption, our children learn to solve in basic education. This wasn't exactly true, but the effect was powerful. Many council members looked at their data pads and communication devices with new worry. President Winters continued. For too long, the major powers have used the council to maintain their position. That ends today. We offer a counterproposal to your final warning. The display changed to show 3 simple points. First, a reformed council with equal representation for all species, regardless of size or power. Second, technology exchange programs that benefit all civilizations, not just the privileged few. Third, a mutual defense pact that protects developing species from exploitation. This is what humanity chooses, Winters said firmly. Neither submission nor isolation. We choose a third path, partnership among equals or independence with strength. The chamber fell silent as her words sank in. Then an elderly Tellurian rose from his seat. The Tellurian people support this proposal, he said, his voice shaking but clear. For centuries, we were denied our rightful place. Humans helped us regain our freedom. Now we stand with them. One by one, representatives from a dozen smaller species stood to voice their support. Each had a story of how Earth had helped them while the Council ignored their needs. High Chancellor Xterra's skin had turned almost white with anger. This changes nothing. The Council has voted. The final warning stands. President Winters looked at him with something like pity. Chancellor, look around you. Your council is already changing. Nearly a third of the representatives were now standing with the human delegation, or voicing support for Earth's proposal. We did not come to the stars to conquer, Winters said. But we will not be conquered. Humanity chooses neither aggression nor surrender. We choose cooperation with those who treat us as equals and independence from those who do not. She leaned forward, her image seeming to look directly at Xterra. The question is not what Earth will do, Chancellor. The question is what the Council will do. Will you adapt, or will you force us all into a conflict that will benefit no one? Before Zexterra could answer, alarms began to sound throughout the station. A Valerian officer rushed to the Chancellor and whispered urgently in his ear. Zexterra's eyes widened. "Impossible," he said. Admiral Carter's communication device beeped. He checked it and smiled slightly. "What is happening?" Lisa asked him quietly. "Phase 2 of Operation Frostbite," he replied. "Earth is making sure they understand we're serious." The main screen switched automatically to external views of space around Centaurus Prime. A massive ship had just appeared near the station, dropping out of faster-than-light travel with perfect precision. It was larger than any human vessel previously known to the Council, its hull gleaming silver in the light of the nearby star. Dr. Freeman recognized it immediately. "The UES Dauntless," he said with wonder. "Earth's newest flagship. I thought it was still in testing." The ship wasn't alone. More vessels appeared behind it, taking position in a protective formation. They made no aggressive moves, but their message was clear. President Winters smiled. "Now, Chancellor, shall we begin real negotiations?" The Council chamber was eerily quiet as everyone stared at the massive human fleet on the view screens. The UES Dauntless hung in space like a silver sword, its engines glowing with barely contained power. Though its weapons remained inactive, no one doubted they could be brought online in seconds. Admiral Carter's communication device beeped again. He read the message and nodded to Lisa and Dr. Freeman. "Earth has activated the full Operation Frostbite," he said quietly. "Across human space, planetary shields are now engaged. All jump points are secured. Civilian evacuation protocols have begun as a precaution." Lisa took a deep breath. "So we're ready for either outcome?" "Yes," Carter replied. "Peace or war, Earth is prepared for both." High Chancellor Zexterra had been in urgent discussion with leaders from the Qualethi and Medusan delegations. Now he turned back to face the humans, his expression unreadable. "Your display of force changes nothing," he declared, though his voice lacked conviction. "The Council has voted. The final warning stands." President Winters' hologram shook her head sadly. "You still don't understand, do you? Look around this chamber, Chancellor. Your Council is divided. Nearly a third of its members now stand with us." It was true. Representatives from dozens of smaller species had physically moved to stand near the human delegation. The chamber, once arranged in neat rings of power, was now split into two clear groups. "We did not come here seeking conflict," Winters continued, "but we will not bow to threats. Every human colony is now on alert. Every ship is battle-ready. This is not aggression. It is preparation." Admiral Carter stepped forward. "Chancellor, humanity has survived and thrived on a world that tried to kill us at every turn. We've endured disasters, wars, plagues, and our own near extinction. Each time, we emerged stronger." Lisa joined him. "The Council believes we expanded too quickly among the stars. The truth is, we held back. What you've seen today is just a fraction of our potential." Dr. Freeman added, "You fear our unpredictability. You should. Humans face challenges by adapting, by finding new paths forward when the old ones fail. It's why we're still here." On the main screen, President Winters stood tall. "The choice is simple, Chancellor. Accept our proposal for a reformed council where all voices matter equally, or watch as we and our allies build something new without you." The Dauntless moved slightly, adjusting its position. The subtle movement sent ripples of tension through the chamber. Zexterra looked at the human delegation, then at the ship on the screen, then at the divided council. For the first time in the memory of many present, the High Chancellor seemed uncertain. "What guarantee do we have that humanity will not use its power to dominate others, as you accuse us of doing?" he asked finally. Lisa stepped forward. "My government has authorized me to negotiate the terms of our continued cooperation." as equals. Dr. Freeman stood beside her, or to arrange for our delegation's immediate departure. The meaning was clear. Humanity would not be threatened or controlled. They would either be accepted as equals, or they would chart their own path. A Tellurian representative spoke up. The humans helped us regain our independence without asking for our resources or demanding our loyalty. They ask only for fair treatment. Other representatives shared similar stories. The humans had established fair trade agreements, shared medical knowledge, and respected cultural boundaries. Slowly, the atmosphere in the chamber changed. Fear gave way to curiosity. Hostility softened into cautious respect. Zex Terra conferred again with the other major powers. After several tense minutes, he turned back to face the humans. "The Council will consider your proposal," he said, choosing his words carefully. "A committee will be formed to discuss potential reforms." It wasn't acceptance, but it wasn't rejection either. It was a beginning. Admiral Carter nodded. "That's all we ask. A fair hearing." Outside the station, the Dauntless remained in position, a silent reminder of humanity's resolve. On Earth and across 17 colonies, humans went about their lives, unaware that their future had just been secured not primarily by the weapons they had built, but by their reputation, their willingness to help others, and their refusal to be bullied. The Galactic Council had issued its final warning. Humanity had responded not with heat, but with frost, the cold, calculated resolve that had kept their species alive through countless challenges. It was a quality the Council had never encountered before, and it had changed everything.